Hey guys, I'll move over so there's a better view of the dogs. Good morning. Sun is shining here in Nova Scotia, so I'm super happy. And it's a glorious day. I think I'm a little bit warmer than some of you folks, except for folks who might be in Florida. But I'm enjoying this time of year so much, that kind of calm before real winter sets in. Anyway, today we are going to focus on a bunch of things that have to do with kind of the concept of untangling. And I've been thinking about this as I kind of play around with my own practice, because there's always this desire to stretch and to kind of lengthen, and that's really good. But the other day, as I was trying to manage a big mess of my headphones, which I use constantly because I don't like ear pods because I lose things. So anyway, I was untangling my headphones and I was thinking about really how meticulous it is. And it was actually kind of a nice mindfulness activity to untangle this massive wire. So that got me thinking about the difference between untangling and stretching. And so today, as we go through the practice, oh, hey, buddy, Jeff's such a good boy. As we go through the practice today, keep that in the back of your mind, kind of the things that we're doing, because we're going to get into some tight spots in the body. So I want you to kind of consider, do we have to kind of do a little untangling before we can stretch and lengthen? Or are you good to just go ahead and stretch? Or do you like that idea of untangling and then take it to the next level, which is when we think of untangling, are we just thinking about it from a physical perspective, or are we thinking about it from an emotional perspective, which might be nice as we ramp up into the holidays? So I leave that all with you, and I'll stop rambling because I see more people have arrived, and that's good news. And Jeff is clearly ready. So please join me in a seated posture, whatever you find comfortable. And let's just make sure the shoulders are back and down. Neck is long. Soften through the face. And just really start to intentionally deepen the breath. You can close your eyes, and as you start to just kind of connect with your practice this morning, either start to think about what I was rambling on about, this kind of notion of entangling, or maybe there's something else that you want to just ponder as your body softens. As you continue to breathe, think now about maybe letting your mind just be blank for a little bit, see if that's possible. Just pushing all of that stuff that distracts us, just pushing it slightly off your mat. And then open your eyes, kind of welcome in. Hopefully everybody has brightness around them. I see a lot of brightness. So hopefully everybody has gorgeous sunshine today and lots of possibilities. What a good boy Jeff is this morning. We were up early, so we had a big walk before the practice, and clearly he is giving some gratitude for that. So staying in this seated posture, I'm going to try and work around this guy. Bring your hands behind kind of the base of your skull. Try and get the elbows open. Lift up through the chest, and we're just going to kind of twist around a little bit. Just go within whatever range of motion is comfortable for you. And if this is not comfortable for you to do seated, you could either sit in a chair and do this, or you could stand and do this. So notice as you're kind of going side to side, probably your elbows are getting closer together. Keep them far apart. And so back to that idea of untangling, as I feel my elbows pulling back closer to the front, I kind of have to work through some of the tangles that are my upper back and keep that open. And as we go back and forth, you can kind of add a little bit of a different range of motion. And think about it, pulling on those different threads of muscles and connective tissues and seeing if we can find that path to making it all go to where it needs to go. A little bit more of this. And then bring the elbows forward, round the back. Maybe breathe out here. Inhale, opening up, leaning back. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, opening. Exhale. Inhale, opening. And then release your arms. I'm going to bring my fingertips on one side behind my butt. And I'm going to lift up through the chest. And I'm going to bring an arm up and just kind of work your way around. Feel where you need that stretch. And this really does become a stretch because we're really lengthening. And then maybe switching to the other side, so fingertips down. And then just moving around until you kind of, it is that notion of when you're untangling and you finally think you know the right one to pull and maybe everything's going to be all right. See if you can get there. And if not now, we will have lots of opportunities during today's practice. And release it. Good. Roll those shoulders. Let's move on to the hands and knees. So my hands are underneath my shoulders, knees are underneath my hips, and right away I'm going to start to pull up through the core. And I'm going to go through some very just basic cat-cow, warming up the spine. So as I breathe in, my head and tail lift. Now pause here for a moment and think about where your shoulders are. So for me, my shoulders were forward and I'm pulling my neck up. That's not great. So when you're in this posture, think about rolling the shoulders back. So we're opening through the chest and then bringing the head up. Cool. So if you're still here, just correct that posture. And then let's round the back, head and tail tuck. So we'll do this on a breath. Inhale, head and tail lift, open the chest. Exhale, rounding. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Do one more. And rounding. Nice. Come to a neutral spine, so flat back. And then we're going to move into playful puppy. So I'm going to start by dropping down onto my forearms. And then I'm going to let the arms stretch forward until my my face or my forehead is on the floor, butt is in the air. You can flip your toes under if that feels good. You don't have to. And again, hold here, adjust to get that nice stretch. Come out of this, bring one hand back, then the other, lifting back up to your tabletop. And now we're going to lower down right to the tummy for some cobra. So I'm going to bring my elbows down, my forearms down, and then just gently lowering. So I try and incorporate cobra into my life every day. I was doing it more. I was kind of aiming for 3 times a day for like 10 lift and lowers. I've kind of been slacking off on that. And because of that, when I come down to the floor, I want to take a couple of moments to just kind of be in a very lazy, this is kind of a sphinx posture, but a little bit lazier. So I'm doing this just to give my chest a moment to open, bringing the shoulder blades together. Notice where you feel tension. And then I'm going to lower down. And my arms are just out from the armpits. And let's do this on a breath. So let's inhale. We're going to just peel up. You can use your arms a little bit. And then exhale, lower. Let's lift on the breath. And down. So we're going to lift again. If you're comfortable using the arms, you can push up a little higher, pulling those shoulders together and lower. Let's do another one, maybe staying lower this time. Find what's comfortable for you and then lowering down. Let's do 2 more. So coming up and down. And once more up and down. Good. Flip your toes under. Press into the hands. You're going to start to lift into another bit of a cobra. And then just push back. And comfortably ease into a child's pose. So I am going to challenge myself to keep the knees together. And because that makes it a little bit tougher for me to navigate, I'm going to bring my hands forward, fist on fist, and rest my forehead. So really in this posture, deepen the breath. And then if you feel that things are starting to kind of relax a little bit, you can bring the arms forward and let the head tuck down. And then slowly rise up to the hands and knees. Flip your toes. Let's push up and back into a down dog. Find comfort here. So feet are about hip width apart. The shoulders kind of roll in towards the body. So the armpits kind of tuck in. Let your head hang in space. And if you find that you're hyperextending the elbow joints, just bend your elbows a little bit. Knees are going to be a little bit bent. And you can bend the knees even more to lengthen through the spine. And then walk the hands back to the feet slowly. And let's start to roll all the way up, bringing the shoulders back. And come on into just a little bit of a mountain pose. So find your feet on the floor, really lengthen, chest is proud, arms drop down to the sides. My palms are going to turn forward. And just breathe a lot. You can maybe close your eyes, just sway a little bit back and forth, maybe. And soften and release. Good. So let's come into a little bit of work around kind of lengthening, coming into a forward fold, lifting to a flat back. And then we're going to do a bit of stuff with lunges. And this is where we are going to be lowering down, placing the back knee on the floor. So you might want to have a little bit of padding for that. And then we're just going to kind of transition back and forth. So go at a pace that's comfortable for you. If you want to sit out a couple of rounds of this, really what I want you to do more than anything else is to kind of, as you come into a posture, go deep within yourself and notice how it's feeling. Notice again, is something untangling? Is something releasing? Is something stretching? And just try and connect those dots. So let's come to the top of the mat. Find your feet kind of under the hips. Toes are spread nice and wide, lifting up. Connect your hands and then lengthen even further. We're going so slowly here. Let's lean into one side. Come all the way up, lengthen again, and then lean to the other side. All the way up, lengthen. Swan dive forward. Bring your hands down to the floor, or how about fingertips? And right away, my knees are still bent. My hamstrings are really tight today. So I'm just going to be okay with this for now. And then we're going to float up to, I like to bring the hands just beneath the knees. This is where I'm going to really start to straighten the legs, shoulders back. Try and keep that back nice and flat and really pull back and in through the core. Let's hold for a few breaths. Now notice where your shoulders are. Mine are starting to come towards the ears. I need to pull them back. We're going to keep holding. You're probably going to have to deepen the breath to support the muscles. And then soften down towards the floor with the fingertips, drop your head, and see if we can kind of maintain a little bit of length in the feet, or sorry, in the legs. Bend your knees, push into the feet, sweep all the way up. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Come to one side. All the way up, lengthen, and to the other side. Lengthen again. Sweep back down, fingertips to the floor. See if anything's kind of giving a little bit more with the legs. And then let's step back with the right foot. So we're coming into a lunge. So you can hang out here, or if you want a little bit of strength work or strength building work, tight through the core, and see if you can rise up. This is tough for balance, tough for strength. And then if you have lifted up, take a moment, drop a hand to the hip, reaching across. So side stretch on one side, come up, switch hands, side stretch on the other side, nice wobbles, all the way up. Bring your hands down to the floor. Lower through your back knee. Uncurl the toes. Okay. We're going to lift again. So this time I'm going to kind of push up onto that bent forward leg. I'm going to keep one hand on that knee for stability and balance. My other arm comes up. Once it aligns with the ear, I'm going to lengthen here, lifting up, and then lean back. Now keep breathing. Straighten up, watch your balance. We're going to lengthen again. And you can add a side bend here as well. So I'm reaching across the midline of the body. Come back to center. Bring the hand down. Now from here, that hand comes to the mat. I'm going to flip my toes on the back foot, put my other hand down, step to down dog. Deep breaths. Walk the hands back, rolling up, reaching over top of the head, and sweep the hands to the heart. Good. I'm going to grab a sip of tea, and we're going to do that again on the other side. Think about how hard that felt. I'm like, I hope it felt hard for you, because that was really hard for me. It's one of those things when I'm doing this kind of, lesson planning in my head, I was thinking, oh, this will be beautiful and graceful. And then as I'm starting to lift up, I'm like, oh my God, this is really hard. Anyway, if you felt that that was challenging, good. It's good to challenge ourselves. And you're not alone, I'm sure. So let's come to the front of the mat. Again, we're going to do the other side. So let's sweep up. Lengthen here, lean to one side. Back to center. And to the other side. Back to center. Beautiful swan dive forward. Fingertips come down, drop the head. Let's float to a flat back. Again, really kind of tighten up here, lengthen through the legs. Today my hamstrings are like, no way, no how. Not gonna straighten easily. Watch the shoulders, pull them away from the ears, tummy is tight. Couple more breaths. Touch the floor. Sweep back up. Connect the hands, lengthen, lean into one side. All the way up. And to the other side. And all the way up. Swan dive. Touch the floor. Flat back. Touch the floor. Okay, this time it's the left foot that steps way back. So we're into our lunge. I've lifted, so my heel is off the floor with that back foot. You can stay here if you like. This is a great posture on its own. If you want to go for that strength kick in the gut today, you can start to make your way up. It's a wobbly journey all the way up here, but it's great if you can get there. Deepen your breath. I'm going to bring one hand down to the waist, lengthen, and a little bit of a side bend. Coming back up, I'm going to switch arms. And a little less of a side bend on this side for balance. And come back up. Both arms are up, lengthen here, maybe leaning back a little bit. And then let's sweep the hands down to the floor. Nice. I'm going to lower my back knee. Uncurl those toes on the back foot. And take a moment to let the body adjust. Maybe you need to tuck something under that back knee. And then when you're ready, making your way up to this very deep lunge. Again, you can stay here. You can kind of tuck the hips under, enjoy that release. Otherwise, I'm going to bring one hand to the waist or the hip, and I'm going to cross over the midline of the body. I'm going to switch sides. And then I'm going to bring arms up, lengthen, lean back, beautiful crescent. And releasing down. Flip those back toes. And gracefully dragging myself to downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Walking the hands back to the feet. Let's float to a flat back. Exhale, touch the floor. And then let's sweep all the way up. Connect the hands. Let's do a side bend. All the way up. Side bend to the other side. And up. And then bring the hands to your heart. Amazing. And just sway. Good work. I thought about going through that again, but I think I will leave that for another day. I do want to come into mountain again though. So feet are underneath the hips, lengthening here. Tuck the tail. Shoulders come down the back body, palms are forward. Neck is really long. I'm really pushing my shoulders down and away from my ears. Close your eyes, start to really deepen your breath, and now go within yourself and think about that flow that we just did. And really acknowledge what the challenging parts were, the parts that either maybe you weren't able to do all the way or for more than a hot second. And just reflect on it. And it's important to acknowledge where our challenges are, because then that allows us to actually focus on any progress we make. When we can remove a barrier, it just means a bigger success. Good. Enough reflecting and acknowledging. Let's open the eyes, sweep the arms up, and let's bring those hands back to heart center. So pulling in that compassionate energy and loading it for ourselves. Good. Okay. So one of the things that I want to do now is just a little bit of motion and movement. And these are some great stretches that are going to help with this kind of idea of untangling. So I want you to, this is also good brain work. So I want you to start by taking one hand to the back of your head. And the other hand goes kind of to your back, just above your butt. So this is what it kind of looks like. So, and immediately my elbow snaps in. So I'm trying to keep this open. Okay, from here, we're going to start to twist from the waist up, and the arm that is in the air, so the arm that the hand is behind your head, lead with that arm. So we're going to go across the midline of the body. Slowly come back. Switch arms. Make sure the chest is still open. And then go to the other side. And back. Switch sides. Twist. And back. Switch sides. Twist. And back. Switch sides. Twist. And back. Switch sides. We're going to do a few more of these. Twist. And back. Switch sides. Twist. And back. Switch sides. Let's increase our speed. Twist. Back. Switch. Twist. Back. Switch. Twist. Back. Switch. Twist. Back. Switch. And release. A little bit of a bounce on the heels. Let the arms just flop around a bit. And again, think about how that felt. And roll your shoulders. Good. Excellent. Okay. So now we're going to go a little bit deeper into some of this work. And we're going to incorporate not that one, but we're going to do some other kind of work for the upper back and shoulders, but we're going to do it while we're in a warrior one stance. So we'll kind of get a little bit of strengthening and opening through the hip flexors. So I'm going to start doing it this way. So I'm going to bring one foot out on a slight angle. My other foot's going to step forward, just a nice step. My feet are a little bit wider apart than shoulder distance, and that's going to allow me to comfortably sink in to this lunge. Make sure you're pressing into the back heel. Front toes are gripping. If your knee is going further than the front foot, just give yourself a wider stance. Nice. Even out the hips, so the back one comes forward, forward one goes back, and then let's bring the hands to the heart to begin. Okay, so normally in Warrior One, we do like this. So this time what we're going to be doing is a little bit of, I think, a neat motion. So you're going to be taking your hands almost like you're rubbing up your face. So you're going to kind of come open and then opening, opening, opening through the arms. And as you do this, head comes back. You want to feel a stretch in your chin, or in my case, the chins. So I'm going to be opening up, and then we come back. So watch your balance. If this is too challenging to do in Warrior One, just stand and do it. So we start hands to the heart, open up, and close. I'm going to do this on a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Step forward. Now, I had you in Warrior One for quite a while. Do you feel it in that calf? Because I do. If you don't, good job. I definitely felt it. So if I'm holding you in a posture longer than you're comfortable with, you can release, move around. There's no pressure. Okay, let's do the other side. So my back leg, I'm out on a slight angle. I'm going to step forward, sinking into this nice lunge. Back hip comes forward, front hip goes back. Does that make sense? Probably. And making sure that you're stable and solid in the legs. Another thing you can do that's helpful, pull up and back through the core and tuck the tail just slightly. That'll give you a bigger stretch. Hands to the heart. And let's go again. Let's inhale, opening, leaning back, and exhale. Boy, balance is harder for me doing it on this side. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Feel the shoulder blades move together and exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Stepping forward. Let's take a really wide stance. Sweep the arms up over top of the head. Lengthen. And just a gentle swan dive down. Fingertips come to the floor. We're going to hold and breathe. Let your head hang in space. Slowly sweeping up. And bringing the hands to the heart. Good. Okay, let's bring the feet together. And let's add a little bit more balance to what we're doing today. So we've really kind of been working the lower body and the upper body. I'm starting to feel a little bit more fatigue, but I also had a pretty big walk before starting practice. So maybe it's just me. I hope it's just me. At this point, I hope it's just me. Anyway, we're going to add a little bit of balance in here. So last week we were doing the tree, the second second position of the tree. So the foot beneath the knee. So this week we're gonna do a little bit of almost a flamingo pose, and then we're going to be kind of reversing this, but in another way, tucking it around behind. So join me in kind of weight bearing on one leg. Doesn't matter which one. Shoulders are back, and I'm just gonna stand on one leg and I'm gonna bend the other leg at the knee. And then I'm going to reach behind and grab hold of a foot. So I'll show you what it looks like. And I do this because if I just reach back, pardon me, I don't get the same range of motion. So we're holding on to a foot. My other hand's going to be just in front of the heart. And then very slowly, I'm going to start to line up the knees, lengthen through the core and the spine. And keep the breath deep. So this is kind of our flamingo pose. Now to do a little bit of a reverse of what we did last week, I'm going to take my hand that's in front of the heart. I'm going to reach behind, grab that foot. Then my other hand comes in front of the heart. So now I've made a little bit of a figure four, but behind the body. Keep the shoulders close together. Keep holding, I'm releasing. I'm just going to, like now I can't remember which side I was on. And then to release, very gently release that foot. See if you can bring the knee forward, catch it with your hands, bring it up to the chest. Couple of breaths and release. Just soften through the body, catch your breath. Pardon me. Okay, let's do the other side. So I'm just going to weight bear, bring the shoulder back, grab the foot, hand by the heart. Now, if balance is an issue, grab onto something. And we want to line the knees up. And as you breathe and hold, that heel is being pulled in closer to the bum while we keep lengthened through the core and the spine. I'm going to take my hand that's free, transfer responsibility of that back foot, bring the other hand to the heart. Keep breathing deeply. And then let's release, bring that leg forward, pull it up, shoulders back, and releasing. Good. Let's bring the feet right together, toes are spread, sweeping up, and swan dive. Slowly rolling up, roll your shoulders back, hands to the heart. Good. Pardon me. All right, let's do that once more. This is a good opportunity to, as we go through it a second time, think about a few ways to go a tiny bit further now that it might be more familiar for you. So maybe when you're holding that one leg back behind, maybe you're moving it closer to the glute. When you transfer that foot to the other hand, maybe you pull that up even higher, kind of getting further pull to the side. And when you release and bring that leg forward, if you're tapping down between, try and just be stable and steady and lift it up. And you want to lift it as high as you can before you grab and pull. Because if we have to lean forward and pull up, that's really tough for balance. So let's give it a try. Make sure you're breathing deeply. We maybe won't hold it as long. And then we're going to come down onto the mat and start to relax. So choose a leg, doesn't matter which leg. Grab a foot. Tall and proud. Pulling all those last bits of energy into the effort. And transfer the foot. And then I'm going to release, bring that leg all the way up. Pull it in. Keep the chest proud, shoulder blades are together. And then a release and good work. Let's move right away to the other side. Let's transfer to the other hand. Keep that breath deep. And then release and lift, 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 lift. Pulling it. And releasing. Hopefully people had a more graceful release than I did. Okay, so I probably didn't tell you, but we're holding those postures and doing those postures partially because with a lot of the work we've done with the upper body today, and especially through the shoulders and the back, although that is a quad stretch, typically viewed as a quad stretch, what happens when you're holding onto the leg and pulling it in, the weight tends to pull you down, and it's actually a great way to open up through the pectorals. And if our pectorals are tight, that's pulling us forward. So that's why this was all part of today's kind of combination of pressures. So let's come on down to the mat, please, and thank you. And I'm actually going to move my camera a little bit here. So high tech, my goodness. All right. Oh, hello, Ted. So nice to have Teddy join me here. All right. Bring your shoulders back. We're going to bring the feet more than hip width apart. So maybe almost out towards the outer edges of the mat. Slowly let the legs lower to one side. And then with a nice tight core, we're starting to move to the other side. So very gently, just kind of go side to side. Again, think of this as It's almost a flossing action, so you're kind of pulling opposite things here, trying to loosen, again, that idea of untangling. Couple more. Good. Let's pull both knees into the tummy, just gently. And then if you want, you can apply a little bit more pressure. Let the shoulders roll back. I'm going to keep a hold of my, pardon me, left knee. Right leg is going to stretch out. Once I give myself some more space. Breathing deeply. Let's switch sides. So I'm going to pull the other. So glad Ted didn't jump right on my face. Let's switch to the other side, pulling back here. And let's bring both legs up into the air. Feet are flexed. Good. Bring your arms up into the air. Stretch towards the ceiling. And then let your shoulders clunk down on the floor. From here, we're going to go into dead bug. So just kind of soften through the arms, soften through your legs. Although it looks weird, this is super relaxing. So just hold and breathe. And then when you're ready, just let everything start to come down to the mat. And move into whatever position works for you for the Shavasana. Maybe it's knees together, feet spread, which actually feels great. Maybe it's flat on the back. Whatever is your preferred posture, move into it now and just breathe deeply. So as you're relaxing, just let your breath be your guide. See where it takes you. Start to deepen your breath and just bring some movement back into your body, maybe stretching the fingers and toes. Maybe move the head from side to side. Now, after all of the untangling, take a huge stretch. So stretch the arms up over top of your head, lengthen through your legs. And then soften. Pull your knees into your tummy. Give yourself a huge hug. And from there, roll up to a seated posture. And just take a moment to kind of settle. I'm trying so hard to stay focused, but there are like two eagles just soaring outside my window. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. It's like meditation is great, but how could you possibly meditate with eagles? My goodness. Anyway, let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. I hope people are feeling good at this point after the practice. I will say this was a lot of work for the upper body and shoulders. It might be a great idea to have a hot shower or a soak in a hot tub if you are so lucky, or even soaking in a tub with some Epsom salts. Be aware that you might have some tenderness here over the next couple of days. Not a horrible thing, but just be mindful and be gentle with yourself if that's what's happening. Otherwise, I thank everybody so much for joining me. I hope you all have beautiful days where you are. And I cannot wait to see folks in a week. So, from Nova Scotia, I send you all of my gratitude and best wishes from a couple of eagles. And I hope everybody has an amazing week. Namaste.
Thanks, Barb.
Thanks, Barb.